In from the Fiscal Times, columnist Liz Peek, Recon Capital Chief Investment Officer Kevin Kelly, Crowdskout Chief Marketing Officer Shana Glenzer, and also former Trump campaign advisor, spokesman for the Hispanic 100, Steve Cortes. They're all with us, and Steve is a Fox News contributor. So, all right, Kevin, let me go to you first, just numbers-wise. And I think there's a lot of issues surrounding Google, especially all this money they have parked overseas. All these tech companies we'll be talking about this week that is kind of worth exploring. But what do you make of these figures here from Alphabet?
I think they're all right. I think it's coming in line with expectations. I mean, most analysts have been extremely bullish on the name, just given the fact that they're the dominant player in search advertising, especially on the mobile side. The only competitor is on the display side, and that's Facebook. But we're going to need to see what they're guiding going forward, especially when it comes to these paid per clicks, right? And what they're seeing advertising revenue on the YouTube side. Remember, back earlier this year, a lot of advertisers pulled out of YouTube. And that could be extremely detrimental to their earnings because a lot of the video advertisements were being played next to hateful as well as, you know, some terrorist videos. So, and you haven't seen those advertisers come back. So I want to see guidance going forward on that.
That is something we'll look into, and we'll hopefully get back to in just a few minutes as the numbers are still being digested. Steve Cortes, let me go to you on that question, which is a political combined with economic question. Alphabet has something like $47 billion parked overseas that could be brought home, we're told, if the Trump tax plan, as we know it, as it's been put forward or as we assume it will be, passes. So that's a kind of a big part of the story for these technology companies. What would be the economic impact, do you think?
Oh, it sure is. I think it could be absolutely massive for the United States economy, not just for people who are involved directly in Google. I mean, think about that, $47 billion. That's like having an entirely very valuable company completely overseas that can literally be moved here at the snap of a finger. So I think it will happen, number one. I think we're going to have tax reform that will allow for repatriation. But number two, I think what it can do here in terms of onshoring, in terms of capital expenditures in this country, in people, technology, plants, I think it will just be absolutely a flourishing of the economy that we'll see from that one simple move. The
companies, and it is, if it passes, it sounds simple, but if it passes, Liz, and then we'll get Shana to weigh in as well, but if it passes, Liz, it is a simple move, but boy, it's a lot of money because it's not just Alphabet. I mean, you combine Microsoft and talk about Facebook, this is hundreds of billions of dollars.
It's actually estimated that there's about $2 trillion of profits held overseas by American companies who don't want to pay taxes on the repatriation of those monies. And by the way, we're the only country in the world, the only advanced developed country in the world that contains that treats overseas profits in this way. This is a completely dysfunctional approach. It has to be changed. And so when Newt Gingrich talks about simply lowering tax rates, don't let's bother with reform, he's correct. We need lower rates on corporations in particular, but we also have to reform the system because it is really broken.
That's a fair point. Shana Glenzer, let me go to you finally on this Alphabet stories. Kevin started off by telling us the numbers look okay, but we wait for guidance to see about other items that we should be concerned about. But technology companies, and Alphabet obviously is one of the bigger technology companies out there, have been doing quite well, and we talk about how they might even do better if they can bring some of this money home. What do you think?
You know, they have been, their stocks have been performing well. The companies have been, announcing continued innovation. You're seeing even out of Alphabet, they had the, YouTube $35 streaming, station or service offered earlier this quarter. And so, we're looking to see how that affects their YouTube bottom line, which they expected to report out separately later this year. So we're tracking YouTube, we're tracking their cloud business, which has also been a real winner for them in the past and hopefully this quarter too.
Okay, more to come on this breaking Alphabet earnings report, the parent company of Google.